What's up, everyone? Welcome to the very first edition of the CaliKidOfficial Podcast. I'm your host, CaliKidOfficial, and on this podcast, I'll be touching upon a variety of different topics from sports to music to entertainment to everything else in between. So, with that being said, let's hop right into it. So, over the weekend, we had the very first round of NFL playoffs, the wild card round. We saw the Patriots against the Titans. We saw the Bills take on the Texans. We saw the Vikings take on the Saints, and we saw the Eagles take on the Seahawks. So in that first round, the Patriots lost to the Titans. Patriots was my squad, but we'll be back next year. They couldn't stop the run game, so it is what it is. We saw the Texans defeat the Bills. We saw the Vikings beat the Saints, and we got to hear hit the quarterback give us his famous "you like that" catchphrase. And then we saw the Seahawks beat the Eagles and ended up making the Eagles backup quarterback cry. Ain't nothing to be ashamed of. Keep your head up. You get back at it next year. So moving into this upcoming weekend, we're going to be having, who's going to be playing? We got the Titans at the Ravens. We got the Texans at the Chiefs. We got the Vikings at the Niners. And then we got the Seahawks at the Packers. So that Titans-Ravens game, the Titans barely beat my squad, so I expect the Ravens to put a hurting on them. Even though Mark Ingram is suffering from a calf injury, they're still a very potent offense, so I expect the Ravens to move on in that matchup. Now the next AFC matchup, the Chiefs and the Texans, that's pretty interesting. They've kind of been trading wins back and forth with one another, so that's going to be a battle of the young guns. It's at Arrowhead as well, but I think the Texans have what it takes to go into Arrowhead and pull it off, especially considering they got J.J. Watt back. So I expect that to give them a boost, and they're probably going to beat the Chiefs by 7 points or less. That's going to be a pretty close game. Then we get the Vikings at the Niners. Now, that's a pretty interesting matchup because the Niners, from top to bottom, are a very balanced team, but they've also been susceptible to taking L's. Like, for instance, at the end of the year, they let the Falcons beat them, and the Falcons isn't good at all. I mean, basically, the Falcons' offense was hijacking, taking the 49ers by Kyle Shanahan. But I expect the Niners to get it done. And then lastly, we get Seattle at Green Bay. That should be pretty interesting. Aaron Rodgers, he has a lot on the line in terms of pressure because it's been, over 10 years since he's even been to a Super Bowl, let alone get to the conference championship. So a lot of pressure is going to be on Aaron Rodgers to deliver, but I think Seattle has what it takes to pull it off. So my picks are the Ravens, the Texans, the Niners, and Seattle. So we'll see what happens with those picks. But moving on from that, we have rumors of Kyle Kuzma may be on the move from Los Angeles. It's looking as though the Lakers are trying to trade him out, from the team. I'm guessing because his numbers have been dropping and he hasn't been producing as much as he was the previous season. So there's rumors that he might be traded to the Sacramento Kings for Bogdanovich, who himself, he's known as a pretty decent three-point shooter. So we'll just have to keep eyes and see what happens with that. Personally, I think they should keep Kuzma. Let him continue to develop his game more. Everybody goes through a slump every now and then, so we'll just see what happens with that. We also saw the return of Power, the very first episode of Power in the 2020 year. And on this episode, it started off basically at the very beginning of what led up to Ghost being shot. And it basically showed the story of Dre along with 2-Bit and his flunky and a couple of other characters. But we see Dre meeting with the DA, who's played by Lawrence Tate, and he basically need money to get out of town. He at first went to Ghost to get the money, but Ghost set him up, which got him sent to prison. And then while he was in there, Ghost arranged for him to get hit by 2-Bit, which the first time around Dre managed to escape, and then but the second time around it didn't go it didn't go the way he planned. Ultimately, he ended up being trapped in the hole. He was pleading for his life, talking about, "I got a daughter, man. Please, man, I don't have to be like this. Ghost is dead. You don't have to do this." And then Two Bed's like, "Yeah, but I want to do this." And so basically, he was pleading for his life. They tossed in some gasoline rags, set it on fire, and basically flame broiled Dre. So that was pretty crazy. And then I like the little interaction Dre had with Lawrence Tate. His old dog character came out a bit because Dre was trying to threaten him a bit, but he was like, "I like the way you leaned in. It makes it more impressive." So that part was kind of funny. So I think in the way that they're going about this season, or should I say these last couple episodes, is that each person that we think might have done the crime, they're basically tracing it all the way back into what led up to them possibly doing a crime. So Dre's already been crossed off because he's dead. So we're gonna have to see what happens in the next episode. Whose story they gonna start with leading up to the death of Ghost. But pretty cool. Some people have already, turned their nose up at Power. They saying that the acting has been terrible or whatever. But all good things have to come to an end at some point. So it is what it is. But moving on from that, we also had the return of the Haves and the Have-Nots. If you're not familiar with that, it's one of Tyler Perry's shows. And in the opening of that show, it basically showed all of what happened last season leading up to this season. Ultimately, Jeffrey and his dad survived the gun battle that was arranged by Veronica. We also see Wyatt admit to killing his sister. That was kind of crazy. Like, all this time, it was believed that somebody broke into the house or she committed suicide, but in actuality, he confessed to killing her. So he didn't kill both his parents, and he didn't kill his sister, which is crazy. And then towards the end of the show, the DA tells Hannah that there was a note with your son's name on it, and it looks as though maybe Catherine left him some type of inheritance or money, which is crazy because before Jim and them got killed, the daughter was supposed to return the money, but before she could, they got smoked. So it's looking like both Benny and his sister is going to make off with a couple of millions, and Hannah's probably going to inherit something too. So we got to see what happens in the next episode. But those two shows are, back. What else happened? Oh, 50 Cent and French Montana are beefing. So let me go all the way back to the beginning of how this even started. French Montana, he bought a Bugatti, and he said, "I'm the first one in New York with it." And 50 Cent, always the petty one, the petty king, he took wind to this and said, "That's the old shit. We ain't bringing that into 2020. You might as well put that back on the flatbed." And so ever since then, they've been trading barbs. He called French Montana Wrenchy because he got a 60-month lease on a Bugatti. And then French Montana calling him a rat and this, that, and the third. And then 50 Cent put up a video of a dude from French's past basically speaking up on his character and whatnot. And then, like, most recently, French dropped put up the old paperwork from the Ja Rule incident, which is cheesy because it's already been proven that that wasn't him cooperating. What happened in that situation was the engineer got hurt, and because he's a civilian, he basically named 50 Cent and everybody else that was there in the paperwork, and so that's why his name is in that. But ultimately, that shit's been disproven a long time ago. And if you look at the paperwork, it looked like it's been passed around because it's so old and torn and whatnot. But personally, I think French Montana should let that go because 50 Cent is very petty and he doesn't forget anything. So he needs to let that go. The last beef that he was in with Jim, he didn't want that smoke with Jim. So I think he should leave 50 alone and just, don't pay him no mind. But I'm pretty sure it's going to escalate even further, but we just have to see what happens. And then we also saw Dababy get into some trouble. So apparently he was booked to perform at some show, He was promised, I think it was $30,000, but he ended up being short 10,000. So he and his crew rolled up on a promoter. They beat him up and whatnot. It's been rumored that he took the dude's iPhone, took $80 and poured apple juice on him, but who knows if all that actually really happened. But in the end, it's gonna probably more than likely end up costing him, even more money, because the promoter's gonna sue. But the way that this should have originally been worked out, you should have just took the dude to court. But I know, growing up in a certain environment, when people do stuff like that, it's a sign of disrespect. So you have to respond in kind. But he should have took a different approach, especially considering how hot he is, and he's basically putting an unneeded target on his back. Because as he said, when he goes back and forth to his city, the police is constantly harassing him. As we saw earlier, he was leaving a performance, and he was videotaping the cops looking into his car, talking about you got weed in there and this, that, and the third, which, that's just them fishing. But we'll just have to keep our eyes and see what happens with that. What else happened? Oh, you guys were wilding out with those World War III memes. So if you don't know, which you should, President Trump basically bombed Iran, which in the process killed one of their generals, and it's basically set off a whole snowball effect. So the Iran responded in kind, and they launched some missiles too as well. One of the missiles took down a Ukraine jetliner, so that was kind of crazy. And then these memes was crazy as well. Let me see. Like one, it says World War III drafting begins, feminists who wanted equality, and then you got the character that's looking back like this and then looking forward, and then it says when they start World War III without you, and they got Kim Jong-un crying. And then this one says, my mama said I can't go because she ain't meet your mama. Like, they is dumb. When you're playing dead and the Iron Soldier says shoot everyone again. Oh shoot. When you're the only one who got the battle pass in World War III. And it showed a bunch of soldiers, and then one of the soldiers got on the clown suit. History teachers, when they find out they have to teach about another war. When you see your grandkids playing the new battlefield in 2077, and you see the neighborhood you grew up in the DLC map, they stupid. This how virgins feeling knowing that World War III on the way. Yeah, so they was wilding with these memes. It's a serious issue. It's a serious issue. The memes is funny, but it is a serious issue. I saw one of the soldiers that's actually over there. He's saying that the memes and stuff is all funny, but pray for us because we're some of us might not make it home, which is true. It's unfortunate though that people can't solve their issues without violence. And personally, I think all wars are pointless. But hopefully everything subsides and things get worked out, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens with that. And then also we saw Vince Staples roll out his new streaming service. He repurposed his website, the Vince Staples Show, and basically brought all of his content into one area, so you can see all of his interviews, music videos, merch, everything Vince Staples. You can see all in one area. And going into the future, I expect a lot of artists to probably follow down and do similar things as him, because some artists are having troubles with their labels and whatnot, and this is a good way for your fans to get everything in one place. So shout out to Vince Staples for rolling that out. And then we got the announcement of the 2020 iHeart Radio Music Awards, and we got a lot of different names on there. It's set to air March 29th, which is a Sunday at 5 p.m. and it's going to be at the Shrine Auditorium and Expo Hall in Los Angeles, California. So the first category, we get Song of the Year, which the nominees, we get Bad Guy, which is by Billie Eilish, Old Town Road, Senorita, Sucker, Truth Hurts. That's going to Old Town Road. It was the biggest song last year, the most streamed of all time, so that's pretty much 100%. unless some shenanigans go on, but I doubt it. Female Artist of the Year: Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Halsey, Lizzo, Taylor Swift. Billie Eilish gonna take that. She had a phenomenal year last year. In terms of streaming, I think she was the most streamed artist last year as well. Male artists: Ed Sheeran, Khalid, Luke Combs, Post Malone, Shawn Mendes. I think Post Malone probably gonna take that. He had a pretty good year last year. Either between Post, Ed, and Shawn. Those are the three, but I think Post is probably gonna take that award. Best duo / group: Dan Shay, Imagine Dragons, Jonas Brothers, Maroon 5, Panic at the Disco. Not too sure. Jonas Brothers possibly. I'm not too sure with that category. Best collab: Dancing with a Stranger. That was an okay song. Eastside, Benny Blanco, I Don't Care, Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber. Señorita, Shawn Mendes, Camila Cabello. Sunflower, Post Malone, Sway Lee. Señorita's gonna take that. That was a great song. The visuals was cool too. Best new pop artist: Ava Max, Fletcher, Lewis Capaldi, Lil Nas X, Lizzo. Lil Nas X is gonna take that hands down. Alternative rock song of the year: Bad Guy, Doing Time, Ready to Go, The Height, Trampoline. Billie Eilish is gonna take that. Alternative, she's in that category as well. So Billie Eilish, she's gonna be cleaning up along with Lil Nas X. What else we got? Dance song of the year. Dance in terms of EDM, we got Body, Close to Me, Here with Me, Higher Love, So Close. Close to Me, Body. I mean, I hear that Higher Love song on the radio a lot, so that could win. Dance Artist of the Year: Diplo, Kygo, Loud Luxury, Marshmello, The Chainsmokers. The Chainsmokers is always hanging around. Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling who's gonna win that. Chainsmokers could possibly win because they always around. Hip Hop Song of the Year: Going Bad, Money in the Grave, Money, Old Town Road, Suge. Old Town Road's gonna win that. That song should have been in the country anyway. Hip Hop Artist of the Year: Cardi B, no. Drake, no. Lil Baby, possibly. Meek Mill, no. So that one is going to be between Lil Baby and Travis Scott. Both of those artists put out the most material and were the most active in the previous year. So that one is either Lil Baby or Travis Scott, more than likely. Best New Hip Hop Artists: City Girls, Dababy, Lil Nas X, Lizzo, Megan Thee Stallion. That has to go to Dababy. He had the biggest year in terms of being the hottest artist. Lil Nas, he had that one song and that was about it. Dababy, he's been consistently delivering hits. He had Suge, he had Bop, he had the intro song. The visuals for his music videos have been funny and over the top too. So I expect him to take that award home. R&B Song of the Year: Before I Let Go, Homecoming Live album, Beyonce. Girls Need Love remix, No Guidance, Shot Clock, LMA or LMI, Talk, Khalid. That gotta go to Chris and Drake. That was, out of those songs, that was the best song and the visuals was dope. If you haven't seen that music video, make sure you guys check that out. R&B Artist of the Year: Chris Brown, Chris Breezy. He gonna take that. LMA, her, Khalid, Summer Walker. Chris Brown taking that easy. Best New R&B: Ari Lennox, Light Skin Keisha. Nicole, Buzz, Summer Walker, The Bonfire. Probably Summer Walker. I've been hearing her name a lot, so that's more than likely gonna go to her. Latin Pop Urban Song of the Year: Calma. That's funny, right? Calma is with Pedro Capo, Alicia Keys, and Farruko. And then we got With Calma, Daddy Yankee, and Katy Perry featuring Snow. So look like a bit of Biden right there. But then we got MIA with Bad Bunny and Drake, K Pretendez, J Balvin, and Bad Bunny. Taki Taki. That's probably gonna get it. But Bad Bunny, he been pretty active this year too. Him and Azuna. So Latin pop, more than likely that's going to Bad Bunny or Ozuna. So in this category you got Bad Bunny, Daddy, J Balvin, Maluma, Ozuna. So yeah, I think Bad Bunny's gonna take that. Best new Latin pop / urban artist: Camilo, Guana, Lune, Roselia, Sec. That's going to Roselia more than likely. She been doing her thing with Conatura and Apele, and she was just on the Highest in the Room remix. So more than likely she's gonna take that. Let's see what else we got. Producer of the year. Some of these people I ain't even. Benny Blanco, Phineas, Louis Bell, Max Martin, Andrew Watt. Songwriter of the year. Yeah, I don't know about that. Best lyrics: 10,000 Hours, Seven Rings, Bad Guy, Beautiful People, Hot Girl Summer, Jews Lose You to Love Me, Nightmare, Senorita, Someone You Love, The Bones, You Need to Calm Down. So this one is socially voted. So whoever has the biggest fan base is going to win this. So Taylor Swift, the Senorita song, and probably Bad out of those three. Because those three, they have the biggest fan bases. So I'm expecting one of them to win that. Best cover song. Who knows? Let's see. Best fan army. Okay. Ag Nation for Agnes Mo, Arianators, Believers, BTS Army, Camelizers, Harry's, Limelights, Louis, Mendez Armies, Nihilers, Selenators, Swifties. BTS is gonna win this by a landslide. If you guys aren't familiar with K-pop and their fans, they are very, very devoted and very loyal to their artists. So now, if there was another K-pop group in this, I would say it wouldn't be such a landslide. But BTS, that BTS army is no joke. So I'm expecting them to win that by the landslide. Best music video, socially voted: Seven Rings, Bad Guy, Boy with Love, oh boy, BTS again, Kanatura, Roselia, J Balvin, Kama, Dancing with a Stranger, I Don't Care, Kill This Love. Okay, we got some competition here now with Blackpink. We got me, Taylor Swift, Old Town Road, Senorita, Sucker. Now I expect this one gonna be a dogfight, because you got some dope songs in here, and then along with the fans voting, this one is going to be hard. So Blackpink, Boy with Love, Old Town Road, and Senorita, and Pop. Yeah, I don't know who's gonna win that. That one's gonna be hard. Okay, then we get the Social Media Award, the Social Star Award. We got Asher Angel, Cody Orlov, Daniel Cohen, D Storm Power, King Batch, Montana Tucker, Nikki and Gabby, Piper Roquel, Scotty Sire, Stephanie Poetry. She had the breakout song I Love You 3000 last year. It was a dope song. I reacted to it. It's actually my most watched video. You guys can check that out on my channel. The Moy Boys and Zoe Laverne. So, Social Star. Ain't no telling. King Batch, he's always relevant, so he could possibly win. All depends on how the votes go. And then lastly, we get Best Remix, which is a socially voted award as well. And we get Bad Guy with Billie Eilish and Justin Bieber, Kama, Good as Hell, Higher Love, Lover, Old Town Road. That's gonna win the remix. The remix was better with Billy Cyrus, so that's pretty much gonna do that. But we'll just have to see come March who wins these in these award categories. But that's going to pretty much do it for the very first episode of the Cali Kid Official Podcast. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure you guys tune in next time for the second episode. And until then, peace.
on the beat.